Hi there, I'm Ben and welcome to part 12 of my Let's Platinum Dark Souls series. We are in Firelink Shrine. We've just left Darkroot Garden and Basin and we're now going to New Londo Ruins. This place is, if you're prepared, then it's fine, it's great. It's quite short and you only need to do it once. Once you've gone through it, you can just use a shortcut and completely skip it. You never have to go back. But it's full of ghosts, and you cannot even block a ghost's attack, never mind attack them yourself, without being cursed or using a consumable item called Transient Curse, which curses you in a way. It basically makes you able to interact with ghosts for about 5 minutes, and then it wears off. So you need to keep using them. Obviously you don't want to be cursed. You will have half of your health. Yeah, we're not doing it that way. We're using Transient Curse. We've been down here. I think we did this in the very first video. We came down here and had a look. Got a few things. We got some extra souls and stuff. And we picked up 2 Transient Curse while we were here that first time. I'll show you where they were, just in case you didn't grab them. Here is another smith. This is Ricket, I believe. Ricket, something like that. There it is. Yeah, he's going to be here all the time. You can give him... We got the enchanted Ember in the last episode. You can give him that now, or we'll just... I'm not going to give it him now. I'll leave it, but he will make enchanted weapons for us later on. Again, we need to fully upgrade one of each type of weapons. We need to go to different smiths to do this. He's one of them. I'm just showing you that he is here, just in case you want to upgrade anything or whatever. See what he's got for sale. But yeah, he's not going anywhere. So we'll just have a look. Obviously, you can repair and just do the normal stuff. Might as well while I'm here. No, we're good. Let's go. Yeah, so we can give him the Ember at this point, but I'm not going to use it. If you're going to use it, then fine. Like I said, you can't give the wrong Ember to the wrong smith. Only the right smith will ask for it. So there will be a vase there. I think there's a vase or there's a corpse there that may have something. And this thing had the 2 Transient Curse in it. I already have them. You should already have them if you followed me down here in the first episode. So if you come across here... And then we're going to actually put Transient Curse into our quick select here. So we can press down on the D-pad and we can move between Transient Curse and the Estus Flask. You're not going to take much damage in this area. Once you're able to interact with ghosts, it's fine. Unless there's loads of them around you. You can block their attacks fairly easily. Sometimes they just completely miss like that. Yeah, so what you want to do is keep the Transient Curse at the bottom. Don't switch to your Estus Flask because you want to know when it wears off, because all of a sudden you could be surrounded by ghosts and you won't be able to hit them. So once it wears off, that Transient Curse will light up again. It will become white again. So we're just going to go and grab a Firekeeper Soul, which is just across here. This is a very narrow walkway in the water here. I always bring my shield up when I'm going on a narrow... I don't know why. It's just a habit. If you angle your camera down, you'll be able to see it. It's a straight run, so it's quite difficult to fall off, but it is possible. So grab that, and we'll go and upgrade the Estus Flask after we finish this area, before the boss. Just come around this corner, hit this pot, and there's 2 more Transient Curse here as well. 3 or 4 will see you through this area. So we've got more than enough, but we can get more later. Ghosts can actually drop them as well in pairs, so look out for those. That where I just hit that pot there, that's going to be the shortcut back to the boss after we finish this area, because we're going to lower the water level and we can then move around on the bottom as well, which is down there. I'm going to show you that. Just take note of where I am right now. I'm going to show you another shortcut, which is kind of a middle shortcut. Once I kick a ladder down, there is a ghost here to the left. It's always here, so make sure to be aware of that. This is the first sort of room where they can swarm you. They just appear through walls. They can hit you through walls. You can't hit them as well, obviously, because you're going to hit the wall sometimes. Yeah, so if you're at level humanity above 10, or 10 or above, should I say, then you're going to be one-hitting them like I am. So, yeah. As long as you can just do that and just get the hell out and just keep moving. Just be aware that they will be coming through the walls after you if you don't kill them. They're kind of tethered to where they have a spawn point. So watch out for this one. This one's always here. It's a trap, obviously. So they're not going to follow you around the whole level. They're sort of tethered to certain sections. That dagger there is good for parrying, obviously. It's one of the best weapons in the game for parrying. You hold it in your left hand, you can parry attacks. Don't do that myself, personally, but parrying can be very strong. And then we're going to go around here. Not just going to ignore that fog for now. This is a screamer. There's only 2 of these. When they scream, I think what it does is sort of attracts the other ghosts in the area. There aren't any more in this area, so she's not going to attract any. 2 more Transient Curse there. And on we go. So here's the outside. This is the ladder. I told you, be aware of the ladder, this place. I've said it before. If you drop down where we were stood before, off the edge, you'll jump onto the edge of here and you can use the ladder. So you can cut that first area out. We never need to do that again. Be aware for this one. If they're above you, it can be quite annoying. Another annoying thing that can happen as well is if you kill them in mid-air like that and they drop the Transient Curse, obviously it doesn't stick to their body because they disappear. It will just stay in mid-air and you can't grab it. It's quite annoying. So just be aware of that. Try and kill them when they're on the floor, I suppose, or on ground. At this point here, I know my Transient Curse is about to run out, roughly. It will roughly run out around this area. There are 2 that will follow you through, there we go, that will follow you through that building. So it's best to get them to come onto the stairs here. There's 2 behind me, which are kind of tethered to the bridge that we just ran across. They won't follow you all the way down here. And there's 2 off to the left in the water that are kind of tethered to that dome. So they don't really follow you either. So I'm just basically waiting for the curse to wear off so I can use it again. Because there's a room to the right hand side as we go through that door that is full of ghosts. And we do not want it to wear off while we're in there. Because on their own they are really, really easy. In a group they can make very short work of you. They will stagger you without much problem at all. And they do have a grab as well. It's not as bad as other enemy grabs. It only does sort of maybe a quarter, if that, of your health. I think one might do it later. So here we go. It's just worn off, so I'm able to use it again and move on. And then ultimately, we are heading towards the 4 Kings bosses for this place. Which in the next game, in the New Game Plus, in the second playthrough, are probably, here's the grab, you can see how much there is. Not much at all. It's just annoying more than anything. In the next playthrough, probably the hardest boss in the game. In this one, not so much. They are, if you're well prepared, which obviously I'm going to try and help you with, then you can get through them without much hassle. There's another screamer in here. Just be aware, a lot of ghosts will turn up. So that's why I stayed in that first room and tried to thin them out a bit. You can come in here and there'll be 6-7 ghosts easy going through the wall. There's some more Transient Curse, so I'm well stocked now. Don't want to be coming back here. Climb this ladder in this chimney here. A couple of ghosts will try and hit you probably. I think they do with me, yes. We're going to go and see an NPC. He will give you the key to leave this place, and he will also sell you I think it's a miracle. I'm just checking they're not following. I don't think they can follow you up onto the roof here. But yeah, he'll sell you a miracle that we obviously need. I think it's a miracle. But he will just talk and talk and talk. Yes, so the 4 Kings. I think there's actually 5 of them. It's a weird name. Here we go. Here's the key, so we can actually leave now. Sorcery, sorry. Resist curse. Kind of a useless sorcery. Obviously, it resists curse. I think it just gets rid of curse, but curse builds up so quickly, and it's not used that often by enemies that it just kind of doesn't really have a use. We're about to pick up the Cursebite Ring, I think it is, which is infinitely better than having a sorcery slot taken up. So we obviously need it for the trophy, but you'll never be using it. Just make sure you grab it off him now. It's only 5,000. We don't want to be coming back here at all. On my first ever playthrough of this, I forgot to buy it, and I was out of Transient Curse, and it is a nightmare trying to get back to him. You can purchase Transient Curse from the undead merchant in the tunnel in Undead Berg, the woman, but they're expensive, and she only has a few, so she can run out. This guy sells them as well for 1,000. You should have enough by now. These are the only ghosts in the game, so you don't need to use it after this place anyway. Now it's just a case of picking some items up before we leave. We can actually leave right now. We have the key. Here's some more ghosts. These are the two that hit me on the way up through the chimney. And there's one at the end of here as well. Always there. Now if you look to the left as I go out of here, no it's not here is it, it's as I drop down and go out. Drop down here. Oh yeah, I'm just going to show you where I am basically so you know. This is that middle room, first room we came into, and I just spot just in the corner there, weirdly, some Transient Curse, a ghost must have dropped them in the corner there. So yeah, they can drop them anywhere. So just stand for a second and make sure they don't drop any. And if they do, pick them up. So if you look left here as I go out in a moment. I will get there in a minute. I keep forgetting. Yeah, go down here, get the Cursebite Ring first. There's going to be a ghost to the left here as well. That's probably what I'm thinking. There it is. It's like 400 resistance to curse, so it's a lot better. But yeah, you're not going to use it. If you've got high humanity, you have a high resistance anyway. To the left here, you can jump across. That's where we were earlier before we came into the buildings. You can jump directly across there. Make sure to grab the green Titanite. One of the upgrade materials we will be farming later on if we need to. Again, last video is going to be a breakdown of everything where all of the Titanites can be farmed. Make sure we have all the sorceries and everything before we leave the first playthrough. I'll be bringing up lists and everything and going through it in detail so we make sure we do not miss anything. Some humanity. Humanity is going to become less. It's definitely not a problem in the second playthrough because we're going to pick up something in this video called the Dark Hand or Dark Hand, which allows you to steal humanity. That was a rare ring of sacrifice. That basically is for curse. Again, if you get cursed, you won't lose half your life, but you'll break the ring. Only happens once. We will be using a ring of sacrifice in the next area. There is a death we cannot avoid, so make sure you have one. I'm going to be seeing an NPC at the end of this video who sells them, so grab one while we're there. We're going to be seeing Quelana and the Pardoner who's in the Undead Parish, and just purchasing everything they have because we'll get a lot of souls for this boss fight at the end. So doing this bit here, we're opening the floodgates, probably on some poor town somewhere, and draining all the water, basically opening up lower New Londo ruins. That's what the key was for, is for this gate. Now down here, it's a new enemy called Darkwraith. I think the Darkwraith, something like that. They are like they're like silver and black knights, but a bit more dangerous. They don't have a shield on them all the time, but they do have a magic shield they can bring up. I see one coming. Here he comes. They are quick, and they have a very quick. So most of them will do that jab to start with, but they do have a very quick combo you can get caught up in, and they can make very short work of you. But they also have long pauses in between as well. Gives you lots of time to hit back. Here's Valley of Drakes. Up there is where we beat the zombie dragon. Another shortcut in, but why you would want to take on 4 or 5 drakes to get here, I have no idea. So we'll go through here. So keeping your shield up is always a good idea. Something I've always done is just in case you don't know what's coming around the corner. So these Darkwraiths also have Dark Hand. I'm going to have one drop one, actually. There it is. If they grab you like that with that red fist, they're going to steal a humanity from you. There is the boss of this place actually does it as well. Or is this it? No, Titanite Chunk. So these guys do drop chunks. Can be farmed later if we need them. I do get at least 2 or 3, I'm sure, in this video. Because again, my humanity is high, so item discovery is high. Through here. There's going to be one to the right that will come, so if you just creep forward and let him come to you. And then give him a quick stab. Is this the one that drops the Dark Hand? I think he has, but I don't pick it up after kill it. Yeah, it is him. Yes, NPCs with the Dark Hand. I'm not going to show it off. I forgot to show it off at the end of this video. I will show it off at the beginning of the next video. I'll walk back to Firelink and show it you. This guy, you see that skeleton? It's just thrown up in the air. They're like these skeleton heads from Doom. They will let off that burst of energy there. And these guys also have a spear attack and a slime. They're nothing. There's 2 of them. You kill them very quickly. They're done. Yes, Dark Hand. You can grab. You put it in your weapon hand in your right hand. And you press R2, and you can grab NPCs, human ones, not undead, and you'll steal a humanity. And certain NPCs don't have any, but certain ones do, and they're all different amounts what they have. I think it's Petra of Thorolund, who's in Firelink. He's the one that sold us the miracles very early on. You can do it to him, and he will give you 2. And then there is Griggs, who sells you the sorceries. I think he has 3. So yeah, it's soft humanity, so it will go straight into your top corner, and it does not aggravate them. And this is a shortcut. I'll just point that out. This is the shortcut. I'll be using it in a moment to leave this area. Yes, it doesn't aggravate them. A lot of the NPCs we can do it to, we've already kind of saved and interacted with. Like Laurentius, the Pyromancer, we can do it to him, but he's sitting down now, so we can't do it to him now. We have to do it when we initially save him. So I'll be using it a lot in the second playthrough. It'll all make sense once I show you. So here, water's down, so we can go to this area. You may recognise it in a moment. There was a chest that we saw earlier on. This is how we go to it. It has the very large ember in it. Another one of the embers that we need. Like with the miracles and sorceries and things, I'll show you all of the weapon upgrades in the final episode of this playthrough. So we'll get them all done, or most of the ones we can do. We'll be doing them as we go as well. The second and the half playthrough after that are going to be a lot quicker than this. We're going to just hit certain points, certain bosses, and be moving on. We're not going to be searching for items and things like that. We're going to skip as much of the game as we can. Basically like a boss rush mode. Should be nice and leveled. Now we're in the bottom. I just looked up there. That is the shortcut we'll be using in a moment. Once we've cleared this area of all of its items, we're going to run back to Firelink. Unfortunately, that is the only bonfire. There are no bonfires in New Londo Ruins. For obvious reasons, I suppose. It was underwater. Here's an illusionary wall. Watch out, there is a wraith across here. So just get the backstab. And then narrow path again, so watch out for that. And there's a Titanite Chunk in here. Got quite a few of those in this episode. Yeah, so we'll be setting up for the boss fight. We'll be doing it a little differently. There is an NPC you can bring in to help you, but only if you used her with the Moonlight Butterfly fight. She's not going to be available for us because we didn't use her. Humanity is a resource we want to keep high. We're going to use, not in the next video, maybe the one after, we're going to use 30 humanity. So we need a lot of it. We don't really want to be wasting it on boss fights when we don't need to. We will be using NPCs in the second playthrough to try and help us with the more difficult ones. Yeah, there's a witch that can help you. NPCs, when you do use them, it does increase the boss life. The 4 kings have the highest HP pool, I believe, of all the bosses in the game. So we don't want to be giving them more. Just be careful of that blobby guy. There is 2 wraiths behind him, so be careful. Only one should see you though. The other one's a bit further back. So yeah, the 4 kings have the highest HP, so we don't want to be using an NPC. We're going to tank the damage. That's basically what we're going to do. There is a pyromancy called Iron Flesh that we bought from Laurentius very early on, which basically makes us it makes us into a tank, but it removes your ability to roll and run. Here is where the drakes were. There is a slope of skulls you can see here. You can run up it and do a jump and you can get up here. It's a bit of a weird one. I think it's a shortcut down rather than a shortcut up. I'm not too sure about that. So yeah, we're just going to clear up. We're nearly there now at the boss door. There's one of those skulls from the blob earlier. Because of our damage output is high enough at this point to take 4 kings, they're not going to be too much to worry about. It is the second playthrough that we need to worry about them. They are seriously tough. It is a DPS test. You need to be outputting a lot of damage and kill the kings as they come out. Having 2 or 3 there at one time, you're done. You're not going to survive. It's bad enough with just one of them. So you need to put everything you can into damaging them. I'm just running around looking for these wraiths because they do drop the chunks. There's the dark hand again. They do drop the chunks, so I was trying to find as many as possible. Advise you do the same so you've got enough of them. We can always come back here and farm anyway. Bit annoying though, should I say, because there isn't a bonfire very close at all. Grab this chunk as well. Forgot that on the way through. And now it's a case of setting up for the boss fight. We've got to run all the way back to Firelink. I'm going to show you the way. There was that lift I showed you previously. It's in here. That will take us most of the way. I think this is actually supposed to be the shortcut that you're supposed to use to get down here. But you can just roll off the edge and get back basically where we were just then, while avoiding all ghosts. So you do not need Transient Curse again, unless you need to go to that merchant for any reason. He is actually somebody you can steal humanity from, but it's just not worth going to him. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'll show you the NPCs you can steal it from, but I wouldn't go over 10. I would keep them in the bank, so to speak. If you do die, lose all your humanity, you can go back and just grab some off them, unless it's kind of a one-time deal. Then in that case we'll have to leave them, and not leave them, take it all at once. But there's 2 up in Firelink. I'm not going to do it now. I'll do it at the beginning of the next episode, because I did forget. I was just concentrating on getting the 4 kings done at this point. So all the way back. I have left this in for anybody who doesn't know where we're going. Don't want you getting lost. So we're going to switch. We're going to remove the Chloranthy ring and put on the Covenant of Artorias that we got from Sif, the wolf. We got a ring from him or her. I'm not actually sure. Before we do that, though, we're just going to use the Firekeeper soul here. Just upgrade the Estus flask. Yeah, we're going to put a ring on, and we can't remove the Ring of Favour and Protection, otherwise it will break. So we're kind of out of luck with regards to stamina regeneration. I'm just going to repair everything. Don't need to do this, but I thought I just would. Yeah, stamina regeneration is going to be at normal for this. There is another pyromancy we can use called Power Within, but it might be something we use in the second playthrough. We're not going to use it now, but switch to Iron Flesh, and just take Great Combustion as well. And then remove that, we don't need that. And then switch the shield to the Crest Shield, because it has high magic absorption and melee damage, which is what the 4 kings do. Don't need that anymore. And then switch to the Covenant of Artorias, which allows you to go down to where the 4 kings are. Allows you to Abyss walk, basically. They're in the Abyss, and if you don't have that ring on, you'll just fall to your death. You'll see what I mean in a minute when we go and see them. You need to do a big drop into nothing. The worst thing about this boss is probably that there's no points of reference anywhere. It's just black. There's nothing around, so you don't know if you're near them. You don't know if they're close to you. You don't know if it's just, yes. Like I said, not too bad in this one, but in the second one can be a bit of a nightmare. We're even going to go full Havel on the next one, I think. But yeah, Iron Flesh allows us to take a lot more damage and not be staggered as easily, so we can just concentrate on hitting them and not have to worry about guarding with the shield. We will be doing the shield guarding as we walk towards them, but once we're near them, it's two-handed. Get as much damage in as possible. Right, so we're back in New Londo now. This is where the 2 curses were in that pot. So if you see this wall here, you can just drop, and we're right back at the bottom here now. So this is where the this first Darkwraith was on the outside. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to kill him, and then I'm going to quit out, and I'm going to make a backup save. For the simple reason that this boss can steal your humanity. So even if you're dying and coming back, you will have lost that humanity they've stolen. So make a backup save. Going down to 10, you're going to see the first move they do to me is the humanity stealing move. So yeah, you don't want to be going below 10. You need to be your damage output high. So just run past all these enemies as quickly as you can and get through the fog and start going down the stairs. You can drop from the top. You won't die unless you hit one of these. Where are they? You will see there, that little jutting out. There's a few of those on the way down. You hit one of those on the way down, you're going to die. So you can see them. I'm going to drop from here into nothingness. I've switched to Iron Flesh. So it doesn't start in straight away. You can see there's absolutely nothing around. So just turn the camera around slowly until you spot them. There we go. Just one at this point. So run towards them. Get ready to use Iron Flesh. Stick it on. Now we can't run or roll at this point. Here's the grab, that twist. And because I can't dodge, the grab is going to happen. It does hurt. Not a massive amount, but it does take a piece of humanity, which is the problem. So now double hand and just go in all you can. You can see there the damage we're taking is not much with their normal slashes. So you've got plenty of time just to heal because you're not getting knocked back. You don't need to worry about guarding. And then once it's down, heal quickly. The other one is here already. So Iron Flesh, once it's run out. See, this shield will block that quite easily. Yeah, getting towards them is the problem. Because there is no reference, you don't actually know when you're near them. So pop the Iron Flesh on again. Double hand. And just hit. This is an AoE. Not much. Wasn't quick enough. Could get the shield out. Would have blocked that. And that's one down. Another 2 Esters quickly. Full health in between each one. Still got Iron Flesh on, so I can't move quickly. You'll see it wear off in a second. There, it's worn off. So now it's a case of putting it back on. So we're going to actually fight 4 of them. You can, if you're quick enough, get enough damage. If you can output enough damage, you can do just 3 of them. You want to save your Pyromancy for the final one because you're not going to have any Iron Flesh. So you want to keep your stamina up for blocking. So that's 3 down. Not much health at all. They share the same health bar. So if you can do enough damage to the first 3, the 4th won't come out. You don't actually need to kill it. All you need to do is hurt it enough for that full bar to go. Here's the grab attack again. So when they do that full swipe, just back off. And then getting some damage. Keeping the shield up and taking the damage that they give this time. And done. That is the 4 kings down. Didn't look too difficult. Is very difficult in the second playthrough, but we'll have to tank even more damage. But yeah, it's a good tactic to use that with the Iron Flesh, so we can just do as much damage as possible. Now here is which one's this? This is Karth. This is the other snake that we can talk to. There's the one in Firelink that we can't talk to because it would have ruined our interaction with this one. They are weird looking. I'm going to skip ahead here, and when he asks you the question, then press yes. And he's going to eat you and take you to Gwyn's front door where you can drop the Lord Vessel off. And then all of the rest of the areas of the game are going to open up. We're going to have Duke's Archive, Lost Izalith, and Tomb of Giants. These are the next main areas we'll be hitting. Duke's Archive being the next one. So we're going to go and drop the Lord Vessel off now.
This is Gwyn's prison. Now, place the Lord Vessel upon the altar.
So then we'll go and talk to Karth again. and he'll take us back to the abyss by eating us again. And then once we're there, we can join the Darkwraith Covenant and get that trophy. Once you join it, you'll also get a dark hand for yourself. So don't worry if one of the Darkwraith things didn't drop one earlier, you're definitely going to get one. So you'll be able to use it to your heart's content. I'll show you which NPCs we can use it on as we come across them. Not all of them have humanity, so yeah, that's unfortunate. So yeah, he's gonna eat us again, take us back. So I'm not sure about the design of these guys, man. So this is why we couldn't talk to the other one. I think it's called Framps, the one in Firelink, because you need to side with this one, the dark side. For this trophy. So you're going to get, there we go, talk to him, and now you'll initiate the whole covenant thing.
The legendary power of the Dark Lord. It can preserve your humanity while undead and cast off the shackles placed upon
This guy has an awful lot to say. There we go. So enter, you can get the trophy. You'll also get a dark hand. And that is it for, basically for this area. We're done in New Londo Ruins. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do some cleaning up, because we've got a bunch of souls here. Was it nearly 90,000 or so? We're going to go purchase the last of Quelana's pyromancies, so the one in Blacktown's swamp. So just go straight back to Quelag's domain, the chaos. I'm just going to change my pyromancy back. Don't need iron flesh anymore. And then we're also going to go and see the Pardoner. He has a miracle for sale for 40,000. And while we're also here with Quelana, I'm going to fully upgrade the pyromancy flame. So at that point, I think we actually have one we can purchase from Angi or Ingi, whatever his name is, this guy here. He still has a pyromancy for sale, and I think it's 20,000, but we can get that very easy by just warping to this bonfire at any time. I was just gonna, because we've got 80,000 or over 80,000, we wanted to do the two things that cost 40 each, 40,000 each. So I've got the long run back. I would cut this, but for anybody who doesn't know the way or can't remember it, I'm leaving it in. When you get out into the swamp here, you can switch back to the rusted ring. It's going to allow you to run through the water easier. So yeah, at the moment we just have that one pyromancy left from Ingi, and I think we're up to date then. So we can start leveling the actual character up, something we've not done for a while. Start putting some more points into dexterity. It's going to allow us to cast pyromancies quicker once we get to 35, annoyingly. There we go. So do the modify. Here we go. +5. That is it. Fully upgraded. Nope. You want to purchase. There we go. So I've got everything. Make sure you've got everything. You don't need to do it right now. If you can't afford everything, then don't worry. You can always come back. She's not going anywhere. We will be back to see her after defeating the boss in Lost Isolith anyway. She's going to give us a free pyromancy. But just for the sake of keeping up to date with everything, getting everything done and purchased, so we can just concentrate on upgrades. That's what we're doing. So from here we're going to go to Undead Parish. And run all the way to the bell tower, unfortunately. See how easy these early game enemies are now that we're late game. I just don't even bother bringing the shield up for the most part because it's fine. Yeah, they used to be a trouble. They used to be a pain, those ones. And then this big group of them here. I try and use the new fireball, but it doesn't go well. It's a very slow one, so you have to give yourself lots of time to cast it. It's going to help once we get that dexterity up as well. See, I'm just not bothered. They can hit me, it's fine. And then up we go. Yeah, so he has a miracle called Karmic Justice. Costs 40,000. Get it done so we don't forget about it. If you don't have it or can't afford it, just make a note. Obviously with that last episode of this first playthrough, I am going to remind you. I'm going to go through the list in real time and remind you where they all are, who's got them, how to get them, if you can get them next time and don't need to worry about them. So don't worry about missing anything, I've got you covered. But while we've got the souls, might as well do it. Buy a Ring of Sacrifice if you don't have one from this guy as well, because we definitely need one in the next video. It's a death we cannot avoid, it's scripted, so you don't want to lose anything. And at this point now, we're just going to Homeward Bone rather than run back. I'll spawn in Blacktown because that was the last one I sat at. So from here, I'm going to go to Anor Londo, and that's going to be it for this video. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.